Namaskar, I'm Ashok Vyas, and I'm so happy and delighted to be in the presence of someone whose presence brings everyone together with love, and the spirit to celebrate becomes available by the very name of Sri Ravi Shankar ji. I express my gratefulness. And also, I thank God and my Guru, as well as today. I would especially like to thank Chairman of ITV World and Parikh Worldwide Media, Padma Shri and Dr. Sudhir Parikh, who made this meeting especially possible for the program Insight Tonight with Ashok Vyas. So, once again, welcoming you for this program and mentioning for some of our viewers who may not know that Padma Vibhushan is one of the many alankarans that came Gurudev's way, and just going by your name, Sri Ji, it of course is related to the Sunday, which is again a day that is known as holiday, and the teaching of Gurudev makes us relaxed and happy. And also the name of Adi Guru Shankaracharya Ji is also there. And I know we want to hear you, but I just want to quickly mention that G20 has just concluded, which brought India on the global scale in a big way. And I was reminded of the World Culture Festival that you organized in 2006, which was like equally or maybe even more bigger than G20. But of course, that was a different context. So now talk to me about the spirit to unify people in physical way. Many times we say that all are one, so that is a feeling. But in this way, and the idea of World Culture Festival.
Yes, we had the last World Culture Festival in New Delhi, which was held on the banks of Jamuna, where we had a stage, floating stage. You know, we did not dig anything. We just had the steel plates and built a stage which had 36,600 artists from around the world. And we have 175 leaders from around the world who came and participated, and 2,500 religious leaders, 175 political leaders, and 2,500 spiritual and religious leaders from around the globe were there. It was a magnificent celebration. That's where we got this the ancient saying Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam out. I'm so glad from there, 7 years later, today, the G20 has also taken the same Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And it was a great moment for world leaders to come to India, and the way harmony was created. That something has to be appreciated. And the leadership, our government of India has shown, the statesmanship, the government of India has shown, and in welcoming all world leaders. That's one level. The world leaders get together, they decide policies, they bring programs for the betterment of society. But you know, on the other hand, you need civil society to participate. And great programs happen through government, but if people are not empowered or if people are not participating in it, the success is a remote dream. So here in World Culture Festival in Washington DC, we want people to come forward to participate. We're not just bringing a couple of celebrities here and there, they sing and go. This is common people, the mature artists, for them creating a platform, empowering them, empowering their life, and throwing light on this grave issues our society is facing today is the significance of World Culture Festival. Absolutely. See, one is on the environment, second is mental health issues, third is the polarization that is happening in society like never before. These are the issues which would get resolved if people come together. And World Culture Festival, I feel, is...
So we'll learn more about the upcoming World Culture Festival, but I want to mention there is one similarity which I noticed between the current head of India, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, and he says, I always think big, and I think Sri Ravi Shankar thinks even bigger. The amount and the extent of world culture festivals that we have witnessed and which we are going to have soon. So let me get to something which is relevant for everyone, whether he's leader or not leader. Many of us think small. We think about limitations. We think about, oh, I won't be able to do it. So how to have the paradigm shift where we can see like you?
There is a saying in Sanskrit, Sanghe Shakti Kalo Yuge. When you think you can't achieve something by yourself, but you can achieve collectively. And the power of collective resolve is much more than an individual resolve. On top of that, spiritual power. That's very important. Inner power, or you call it spiritual power, or your higher self, connecting to that. That Sankalpa Shakti will make things manifest.
So, sitting with Sri Ravi Shankar, and he looks like you and me and like a normal person, but then you realize how much Shakti is being manifested through his very presence and his inspiration. That is miraculous for us to even fathom. So let me not try that. Let me get to that which is relevant. And you mentioned about mental health, and that issue is also talked about in America. President Biden also emphasizes on. And I think what you have been doing through meditation, etc. Many people taste it, but then they don't continue. So what tips you can extend that there is a consistency in meditating?
You know, when you run out of gas, only then you go to gas station. So when the car is full, sometimes people forget they had to fill the car. Similarly, even if they remember time and again that there is an aspect in them which they cannot ignore, the spiritual aspect, I think we'll be on track. And by practice, people will see that there is another joy. Practice is not something that's boring. But you know what people usually stop doing is if something is boring. So initially, meditation, breathing, all this may give a little, I know it's a little boring sort of, but if you go over that hump, then you will see it's not at all boring. It's something which accelerates your whole system, and it brings so much joy. So till you find the joy, yeah, you need to. See, when you break the coconut, first when you see the coconut, you have to first dehusk it. When you dehusk it, then there is a hard part in it. Till you reach beyond the hard part, if you leave it in the middle, then you won't enjoy the coconut. You took time to dehusk it, but you have not broken the shell. So you need to break the shell, then you have the kernel, then you can enjoy the cool, sweet water in it. Similarly, spiritual practices also. People, they begin it, they feel good, it's like dehusking the coconut, but if they stop somewhere, that is where we come into play. That's where they come to the Sangat, they come to the group where people are meditating together, or to the teacher, to Guru. Guru will make the journey easy.
Talking about Guru and very quickly recollecting the place where you were born in this physical form, Papanashram is the name.
Yeah.
So that literally lived through your life, pure nashing paps everywhere. And there is another, the name of Adi Shankaracharya ji was also there at the root of naming Sri Ji as Ravi Shankar ji, and he also used to say that.
I was born on that day.
Oh wow!
Shankara's birthday, yes.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So my parents had no choice to give any birth.
Let's talk about Acharya Shankar and the Nataraja, which was very huge statue, 27 feet or what was displayed.
That was, you know, that big Nataraj statue, I know the person who sculpted it, and it happened in my native place.
I see, I see.
It's there only. Just 3 kilometers from Papanashram is Swami Malay. That's when the Murti was done.
Wonderful. As not just Westerns but even Indians do not know the significance of the Murti of Nataraj.
Nataraj the cosmic is a symbol of cosmic energy. If you see in Natraj, in one hand there is fire, another hand fire element, another energy, another hand there is deer. Deer is symbol of speed, air, space and time. So Natraj, the Murti itself is so mysterious, and the depth in it, it's, you can go on and on for hours to explain about that. And the whole Natraj is inside a ring of flame. That is to say, there are so many different cosmic energies, and Natraj is the very center of it.
So the center of cosmic energy was sort of available for people to have darshan, as well as the whole world now is thinking and pondering about the significance of Nataraj. So there is a kind of conscious attempt on the part of India collectively to reclaim the wealth of its cultural heritage.
I'm so glad about it. It's high time our Prime Minister Narendra Modi has taken this much needed step to bring up the self-esteem of people. You know, a large section of our society was reeling under this feeling that we are not so good, we are not good enough. See, unless one's tradition, cultures are lifted up, a person's self-esteem doesn't go up. Then he tried to imitate everybody else and feel so bad about themselves. It's the first Prime Minister who stood openly, did what he really believed. And you see that same thing. Rishi Sunak is also doing. He said, I'm a proud Hindu. And Singapore Prime Minister has declared that. So Prime Minister Modi gets the credit of lifting up, the culture like no one else in the past. Not only that, he also has done so much development for the poor and the poorest of the people. The infrastructure development in India is something that's it's nothing short of miracle. In just 9 years' time, you see the economy has grown so well, and almost every sector of society there is. Of course, there are challenges. There are many things that is not complete. I won't say it's all rosy. Yeah, there are thorns, there are issues. But the development is also something that you cannot brush aside. And the way we have connected people from around the world, the diplomacy is something that has to be kudos to that effort.
Yeah. And just echoing with what you said, Delhi Declaration, many people were apprehensive whether there will be a consensus because of the impending issues related to Ukraine and Russia and of course China abstaining, etc. But they managed to forge a sense of synergy, and there was a Delhi Declaration on the very first day. And you have been very active in negotiating at different places, whether it is our own India, Kashmir, or you have been to Pakistan, Iraq, several places. Talk to me about the ability to see the common ground for negotiating and bringing people with different views on the same table.
You see, governments can do only to some extent because they are part of the players. The non-governmental players can play a bigger role because they are considered more neutral and fair to both sides. So that's how we could, convince people, some of the ex-militant. Manipur had 12 militant groups, and our volunteers went there for years. We sat with them, spoke to them, brought many of them, also Ulfa militants. We could make them surrender. Thousands of Naxalites surrendered, you see. And similarly here in Colombia, we had the FARC people come on the negotiating table and declare peace. So it is possible. You see, that's why I say love moves the world. And as spiritual religious leaders, they are trusted more. There's more credibility with them. Because though whatever sincerity a politician will be acting, there is always a little doubt in the minds of people. But with spiritual and religious leaders, they know that we don't want anything from them. We just wish welfare, well for them. We just wish, we are their well-wishers, and they come along. That's one thing. And see, in India today, I would say there are issues, especially youth. Now you will see more and more youth want to be entrepreneurs. India is producing more entrepreneurs than ever before. There were issues about education, and new education policy has really opened up. See, you cannot go on holding on to 18th century, 19th century laws and education systems. We need to reform them. And thanks to the government that they could bring to that, most of it they could do it. With all the power and resources, what governments can do is something that's beyond imagination of any individual or small organizations can. But every organization can create a role model which can be picked up by the government. For example, in 2008, we started Clean India campaign, Swachh Bharat. Then when the government took that up, they really made it, they scaled it up so big, and it happened very well. And International Yoga Day,
Yeah.
we all, all 2011 itself, all the yogis in Bangalore, our center, we met and we appealed to the United Nations to declare International Yoga Day. But only when Prime Minister Modi took it up in 2014, he could just do it immediately. Because his voice was heard. A nation's voice is heard more clearly. So, and then on top of all this, there is divine grace.
Absolutely.
That nobody should ignore. So we think, I did it, you did it, he did it, but we must know that there is a higher power, and that's in control, and that does the thing at the right moment, right time, with the right people.
The right moment has come that I'm sitting with Sri Ravi and we are talking about World Culture Festival, which is happening at the place of the world in a way. To conceive of such an event for 3 days, over 180 countries, people will be participating, almost 470,000 people have already signed up, etc. How, where do you get the confidence that it will be happening?
As I said, there is a higher power. Our Atma Shakti से जो संकल्प निकलता है वो पूरा होता है.
नाम के महत्व के बारे में हम अक्सर सुनते भी हैं, and I'll relate it to the name of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and that reminds me of Swami Vivekananda. On my way here, I was listening to your talk on YouTube where you were talking about purpose of life, and you mentioned about Swami Vivekananda answering to someone whether you'll pick up money or a philosophy book, and he answered that he'll pick up money. Then when he was questioned, he said, you pick up that which you don't have. So the philosophy professor wanted to. So those kind of anecdotes help us in perceiving the pragmatic side of meditation. Many times we just hallucinate or we think. So what you are teaching, that is not taking away from the practical side of life.
Yeah. Many times knowledge are misused. People can misuse it. For example, you say you have to get into the bus, and then the second instruction is get out of the bus. You put these two instructions together, and if you keep arguing, if I have to get out of the bus, why should I get into the bus in the first place? The two instructions are contradictory. but they are put together in such a way that it is so confusing for an individual. It asks many questions. And this is where you need the help of a guide. गुरु की आवश्यकता तभी है जब जीवन में भ्रम पैदा हो जाता है, किंग कर्तव्य विमूढ़ आत्मा हो जाते हैं, मुझे क्या करना है, क्या नहीं करना है, क्या सही है, क्या गलत है, इस तरह की सब तरह का जंजाल में हम फंस जाते हैं. उस वक्त हमको विवेक की आवश्यकता है, और विवेक को संपादन करने के लिए मन को शांत करना पड़ेगा. उसी लिए ध्यान है, मेडिटेशन, ये सब करने से जीवन में एक नई ऊर्जा होती है और नया आयाम हमको आने लगता है. फिर कोई ताकत नहीं होती हमको रोकने वाली.
एक तो गुरुदेव जहाँ भी होते हैं तो प्रसन्न ही होते हैं, और मुझे गणेश जी के बारे में जब कहते हैं कि वो अपना लड्डू साथ रखते हैं तो श्री अपने आप में मगन होते हैं, बट एट द सेम टाइम ही इज एक्टिव एंड ही इज मेकिंग अदर्स एक्टिव. सो रिफ्लेक्ट ऑन योर एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ सक्सेसफully organizing World Culture Festival, which you have already done in Berlin, Delhi and Bangalore. And
देखिए, ऐसे आपने सुना ही होगा, there are a lot of challenges. Some people come and challenge, oh, you have spoiled the environment. World Culture Festival बहुत आवाज उठाए. Then we proved that we have not spoiled anything because there is nothing to spoil more. It was already it was like a drainage. So we in fact tried to improve the situation, bring the attention of people for environment. We rejuvenated 75 rivers in India and cleaned up thousands of water bodies. And 8.1 million trees हम लोगों ने लगाया. तो हमारा मुख्य उद्देश्य वर्ल्ड कल्चर फेस्टिवल जमुना किनारे करने का यही था, to bring the attention. When international crowd is coming to that place, we thought at least the governments would take more steps to clean it up faster. Instead, some NGO, some people try to block the whole thing. But you know, when God's power is with you, grace is with you, nothing can be stopped. And then after the program, they came up with the DDA came up with result, and there was no damage done to the floodplains. On one hand, they say the floodplain is damaged, and then the same word they say, we don't know how it was before. It was
those who want
ridiculous.
To criticize.
So like that, you know, there are many people who keep criticizing, and we should not shy away from those things. And संस्कृत में कहते हैं श्रेयांसी बहुविज्ञानी. कोई बड़ा काम करने जाते हैं, कोई अच्छा काम करने जाते हैं, तो कई उसमें लोग अड़चन डालने वाले आते ही हैं. हम उनसे विचलित नहीं होते, क्योंकि हमारे अपना आध्यात्मिक शक्ति का यही तो है मतलब.
तो एक क्विक बात यह है कि जब गुरुदेव के पास बैठेंगे, आपको कोई बात ऐसा लगे हीरे की तरह चमक रही है, बट व्हेन यू गो योर होम तो आपको लगता नहीं ये तो कांच ही है. सो देयर इज समथिंग दैट नीड्स टू बी डन ऑन आवर पार्ट सो दैट हीरा जो गुरुदेव से मिलता है वो हीरे की तरह रहे. एंड टू हेल्प दैट आई वांट टू अप्रिशिएट एंड आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट यू टू शो योर बुक The Journey Within, and this was launched with a meditation. And kindly say something about.
देखिए यहाँ कांच की टुकड़े भी आता है तो हीरा बन जाता है. एक बार बन जाता है तो फिर वापस कांच नहीं हो सकता है. तो घर भी जाओगे तो अब भूल ही नहीं पाओगे कुछ क्षण जीवन के. ऐसे क्षण होते हैं जब वही तो प्रसाद करते हैं, उसी को प्रसाद करते हैं. ये है नोट्स फॉर द जर्नी विद इन, ये अभी
एसेंशियल्स ऑफ द आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग. मैंने भी हाथ इसको लगा के प्रसन्न हो गया मैं थोड़ा, क्योंकि इसमें आई थिंक दिस.
थोड़ा क्यों प्रसन्न है, पूरा हो जाइए प्रसन्न.
पूरा मैंने अपने आप को पूरा होने की अनुमति आपके आशीर्वाद से दे दी. तो दिस आई थिंक you have been very generous in sharing tips in nutshell. किस तरह से सोचना है. So this is like a poetry which unfolds in you. And I'll go back to, I was just reading that Sudarshan Kriya came to you and you said this was like a poem that came to you. आपके अंदर का ये जो आर्टिस्टिक एप्रिसिएशन है वो स्पिरिचुअलिटी के साथ में फ्लो होता है.
जीवन, लाइफ इटसेल्फ इज to appreciate. When you appreciate life, it becomes art of living. हर चीज में जो खूबी है, सुंदरता है, उसको पहचानना है, रिकॉग्नाइजिंग द ब्यूटी. इसीलिए सत्य को कहा सत्यम शिवम सुंदर. ये तीनों पहचानने लायक है. पहचानने से होता है, हम पहचानते हैं हम शिव स्वरूप है, शिवोहम. और ये सत्य है, ये भी पहचान से होता है. बिना पहचान के सत्य कैसे समझ में आएगा? असत्य क्या है, सत्य क्या है? पहचान से होता है. ऐसे ही सुंदरता है, उसको जब तक नहीं पहचानते हो, वो सुंदरता कैसे कहा जाएगा, है ना?
तो पहचान की बात, जी, पहचान की बात हो, समापन की तरफ बढ़ते हैं बातचीत के. तो हम उस दृश्य की कल्पना करते हैं जब नेशनल मॉल वॉशिंगटन में वर्ल्ड कल्चर फेस्टिवल हो रहा है. हम में से कई लोग जो ये कार्यक्रम देखते हुए आपको सुन रहे हैं, वो आपको अप्रिशिएट भी करते हैं. वो सोचेंगे इतनी भीड़ में मैं कहाँ जाऊँगा. सो बट टू बी देयर एंड टू एक्सपीरियंस इट इज़ डिफरेंट. और टेलीविजन पर देखना अलग है. उस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से इफ़ यू वांट टू से समथिंग कि कितनी सारी अलग अलग कंट्रीज़ के डांसेस होने वाले हैं. इंडिया के बांगड़ा से लेकर के गरबा से लेकर के तरह तरह के डांसेस होने वाले. टॉक टू मी अबाउट हाउ दैट विजुअलाइजेशन ऑफ द होल इवेंट इज.
देखिए, अपना सिर्फ एक संकल्प उठाते हैं, डिटेल में नहीं जाते हैं. ओ पूरा परमात्मा कर लेता है सारा काम. ये करना है, सोचते हैं आप, अपने आप लोग सब जुड़ने लगते हैं. अब सब लोग प्रो बोनो कर रहे हैं. एवरी आर्टिस्ट इज कमिंग एंड परफॉर्मिंग ऑन देयर ओन. तो ये तो आसान नहीं है ना दुनिया में. तो इस तरह से सब होगा. जापानीज डांस से लेके अर्जेंटीनियन म्यूजिक से लेके अफ्रीकन ड्रमर्स होएंगे, सब लोग होएंगे. हिंदुस्तान से सितार है, केरला से लेके कश्मीर तक का सब, हिंदुस्तान की जितने भी हैं सब होएगा.
प्रसाद रूप में अंतिम सवाल में पूछने वाला रह नहीं पा रहा हूँ. संकल्प शक्ति बढ़ाने के लिए हम लोग क्या करें?
विश्वास, प्रभु विश्वास करें और प्रसन्न रहें.
तो प्रसन्नता बढ़ाने वाला ये संवाद श्री श्री रविशंकर जी के साथ मेरे लिए क्या कहते हैं, चिर स्मरणीय रहेगा. बहुत प्रेरणादायी, आनंद प्रदायक. श्री श्री रविशंकर जी को बहुत सारी मंगल कामना. वो इस स्वरूप में हमारे साथ बने रहें और उनके माध्यम से अच्छे अच्छे कार्य जगत में होते रहें. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. प्रणाम.